arms. We're getting new cameras out here, and we're getting new battery backup systems. In case there's an outage, we'll still have an opportunity to use those signals for a time. Also, ADA ramps are very important for pedestrian safety, for disability and mobility issues. We are all getting all new ADA ramps. Again, First Street and Second Street. Let's see if this advances. Yes, it does. This is the overall project location. Again, this would be phase 1 and 2, but we're highlighting phase 1. You see the small green squares? That's actually where we're going to be working. First Street, Second Street, and a very, very tiny part of Weatherford, where we're only putting in some electrical battery backup systems. Very small part of Weatherford. Again, phase 1 is the First Street and Second Street. On this diagram, we're showing where those battery backups are being installed. And then we're showing the actual intersection where we're putting the new ramps. And we're showing where the poles, the mast arms and the poles are going. Also, I need to let everybody know we're going to have questions at the end. So don't worry about missing something. If you have a question during the presentation, please write it down. We're going to be able to enter those into the chat. We may have a few questions in the room as well. We'll try to make sure we get those on camera. So this is the project location again. First Street, Second Street, a little bit at Weatherford. Why are we doing this project? This project is part of the 2022 bond program. This project was identified in the pedestrian high injury on the pedestrian high injury network list. Basically, we want to make sure that the pedestrians in this area are not facing any issues, any safety issues, and maybe there may have happened in the past. And we're wanting to make sure that that Main Street, all streets in Fort Worth, but particularly Main Street, was identified in a study that we did that said upgrades needed to be made. And we're going to see why some of those upgrades need to be made. We're going to look at some of the existing conditions out there and what we're doing. And some of those existing conditions I'll tell you about right now: aging signal infrastructure. Some of the old signals are starting to rust. And if we did not do something, who knows, in a few years, we could have an incident where some of those signals could actually, something could happen. So we're getting ahead of the game here. City of Fort Worth is really good about doing that. And so that's what we're doing. We're replacing the signals now, the poles, the mast arms. And so basically capacity, we were looking at capacity to make sure that we get more folks downtown. When you have proper ADA ramps, you can get more people across streets more safely. And so that's one of the things we're doing here. Another thing we're doing downtown is we are adding the audible signals. So folks that have visual impairments, they'll be able to push the button and they'll be able to hear the signal. So that's there are six signals in the Fort Worth area that are like that. This is another project where we're adding that for, again, improved safety. So why is this project? Why are we doing it? Again, it's improved pedestrian safety, and that's really the bottom line here. What's the status of the project? Where have we been? Where are we going? This project has been ongoing for about 2 years now. 30% design was submitted back in 2023. We did a lot of reviews on that one. We got a lot of input from various stakeholders, from the public. And so we've made several submittals since then. We've done we've made some changes. We've listened to folks, and we've just submitted our final submittal for design and construction here this month. So the project is moving along. It is taking a little bit longer than we would have anticipated. But again, it's a very important project for the city, and we wanted to make sure we heard from everybody. what is we doing out there? As I mentioned, we're putting in new poles, new mast arms, new cameras, new ramps. And this is what's gonna happen. At these two intersections. This is the pretty much the outline of the construction as you're seeing. If you look on the screen here, you're seeing each corner is gonna get a brand new ramp. That ramp is gonna be, gonna meet the newest ADA guidelines. And then also we're getting new poles here. You can see on the screen, as we've been talking about, again, safety is paramount. This is just showing where the power pedestal is for those backup batteries and to give additional power to these newer intersections, the newer signals on this project. So what do we have now and what are we going to have? So if you were to walk down Main Street now, you would see a lot of the older, old-fashioned square metal signals and mast arms. These were installed, if you look on the left side of the screen, these were installed in the 70s. They're showing their age. And so they do need to be replaced, and that's what we're doing now. So if you look on the right side of the screen, we show what will they look like. So we go from the left side. In the future, in the near future, they will look like the right side on final design. It's important to note something. As most people know, we did some work at Sundance Square a few years back. And so the pedestals, the signals, and the mast arms were changed to a decorative signal back a few years ago. And that's why this project is actually not going from First Street all the way to 9th Street. It's going from 1st and 2nd, and then 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, because 3rd and 4th was part of that Sundance Square project. And so we already have signals that we are using as a go-by for this project. And so that's what we're doing. We're matching those. So we have a nice continuous and decorative poles throughout the entire project one day when phase 2 is done. We thought that obviously that's very important to do here on Main Street. So again, left side is what's out there now. The right side is what's going to be out there, and what's actually out there on 3rd and 4th Street right now. In the middle, you can see what those proposed ramps are going to look like with the truncated domes. These meet the newest ADA standards. And so not only do we think they look nice, but we think they're going to function very well, and they do meet the current standards. There have been some questions on decorative bases for the poles. I know that's very important to many people. The bases that were put in about a decade ago at 3rd and 4th Street now, the manufacturer's no longer around. We believe they went out of business. It took us, so this is another reason that the project was delayed. It took us quite a long time to locate a manufacturer that can give us the exact bases to almost to an inch. These are the same bases that were used at 3rd and 4th Street. We thought it was very important to make sure we have continuity throughout this project from a decorative standpoint. So these bases they're indistinguishable, and the sizing is almost identical. So no one will be able to tell the difference. They will look identical. And that was a question we had before. So we are moving forward as of now with these decorative bases that will kind of clamshell around our standard City of Fort Worth poles that we're putting in. And that will be the standard probably going forward all over downtown, in fact. And we found a manufacturer that's able to do that. And so that is the plan. Okay, so now we get to kind of the part of the presentation. I think a lot of people are really interested about what does construction look like? What should we expect during construction? And what is the phasing going to look like? We have Najib from EARTC, that is our contractor. He's gonna get up and start, and he's gonna talk about that part of the project. And then he'll be available as well at the end for any questions that you guys may have. And remember, we can put those into the chat feature on this WebEx presentation, but I'll turn it over to Najib.
So, James, do you wanna cover the field stuff? How you doing? My name is James Ransing, the superintendent for EARTC. I'm the one that's gonna be in charge of this project. As you can see on the traffic control and phasing portion of the slide, our intention is, because we know how busy downtown is, and we want to make sure that the public is going to be safe at all times, the traveling public, on feet as well as in your vehicle. So each phase, sit on this camera.
It's up on the wall under the.
Oh, closer, it's up there. So how I'm going to describe this is, so we have the 4 ramps, we have the 4 phases, the 4 directions. So our intentions is to work one phase at a time. So for this example, we'll work this direction. We'll close off one side of the street at a time, work it until we're complete, and then work one ramp at a time per day. So at the end of each day, the road will be back to being able to cross the street and be able to travel on its vehicle. That intention is because we know there's a lot of restaurants, and there's also hotel that will be affected during the day. But we want to make sure at the end of each day that business or the hotel will not be interrupted at the end of each day. So we're going to make sure that the road is clear, everything is picked up, cleaned up each day. So the businesses will not be affected at all. So, and we're going to do one intersection at a time. So this is First Street. It's the intersection we're going to start with first. We'll just move our way around each day and then go to Second Street and work our way around each day. That way they're impacted by the traveling public each day. I don't know if you guys here were able to see that, but basically the same concept is here's the 2 intersections. We're going to work one direction at a time. So if we're working on this direction, we can close off this side of the street while we work, fix it, then work the other side, close off that side of the street, finish that work, and then whatever day we're going to do one ramp per at a time. So then that way there's still three approaches that can be pedestrians can use. I know especially Second Street is a little busier than First Street when it comes to the restaurants and as well as the hotel or the hotels on First Street. But that way that during the day when we work, that it will be closed off for some portion, but by the end of the day, by 4 or 5 o'clock, the road will be back open. So the traveling public can easily move around and we won't affect the businesses with the hotel when it comes to that. So that's our intention as of right now, and hopefully we can stick to that.
Yeah. Okay, now we'll have an achieve. Okay, right now.
No worries. I just want to introduce James because he is going to be the face of the project day to day. He's going to be on site. If he's not there, I'll be there. But essentially, James is leading the troops on site and he is coordinating and training our troops for safety at all times and traffic control. I know this is a big commitment from the city, obviously, to let us work in these historic blocks, and we want to make sure that we're cognizant and we're not blocking all traffic. Usually these type of construction sites, you block the entire or almost an entire square acre, but we want to be mindful of the populated area that we're in. And then besides that, we also have Miss Genesis DeMattia. She is Seth's counterpart from our side, and she's in charge of making sure project management is going smooth. We're addressing any concerns from any of the city stakeholders, and also making sure we have materials and crews at all times here, and permitting is going smoothly. So all of us are here just to make sure we show up a full team, and hopefully we can deliver this on time before the World Cup.
Not hopefully, we will. Thank you, Najib. Thank you, James. So, Najib mentioned something that, yeah, this is a historic district. Everything we do, we need to preserve that. We've looked into, matching the brick, and that's why we're doing with the decorative poles, that they just look nicer for this historic district. So we're keeping that in mind as well. We've got some folks, looks like that maybe, oh, that's me, actually, that's transparent. Thank you.
I will look at.
No problem. All righty, so let's keep going here. Pedestrian access, to businesses, that's extremely important. And I like our consultant, Todd's with our consultant, Bartlett West, to talk a little bit about how we are planning to maintain that access. So Todd, would you speak a little bit on access to businesses?
Thank you very much, Seth. This probably really ought to be handled by EARTC. They'll be the ones, they'll be coordinating with the different property owners, making sure that any questions or concerns they have as far as pedestrians being able to access the facility. Primarily this phase of the project, the only one that's really a concern, I believe, is Risky's Barbecue. They're on the corner of Second and Main. Making sure that their door still has access for pedestrians to get into the restaurant. And then also for the various buildings around here to have the valet be able to continue to service the customers coming in and out of all the buildings in the project area. So mainly, I believe EARTC's project manager will be coming out, talking to each one of the different businesses before they actually get started. Make sure they coordinate with each of the businesses, stakeholders, so that everything moves smoothly for everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Todd. Thank you. So because this is a high profile project, you know, the public will see more city officials out here checking up on things, more inspectors, just keeping everything clean. We have various representatives from the downtown organizations. And so there'll be a lot of eyes on this project, but I just want to make it clear to the public, to anybody watching now, if you see anything at all that you're confused about, that you have a question about, please get a hold of me. We'll have my contact information at the end. I just didn't want to, I just want everybody to know this is an important project. We're taking it very seriously. Things may get missed, but we're going to do our very best to rectify and correct that immediately. So we do need help from the public from time to time, and we appreciate that. So we'll keep going here. What's the project schedule? We are hoping to get kicked off for construction, to start early December. And so when we are able to do that, there's a lot of activities on the calendar, a lot of events on the calendar for the end of this year. So very large events. We're able to miss some of that by starting in December. And of course, obviously that means that there'll be a lot of Christmas events for during that winter break so we may have to take a break as well. So I'd like everybody to kind of have an understanding of, just because you see construction beginning, and again, as ERTC mentioned, we will be cleaning up every day. But if you don't see construction out there for a week and a half, it's not because we've stopped or because we've gotten lazy. It's because we're trying to avoid some of these larger events. So we may break down for a week, let something happen, and then we'll come right back to it. So we're planning on that. I don't want everybody to be clear that it's not they're just not off working on something else. It's to make sure that the events go off smoothly. And so we're planning ahead for all that. We're planning for, about 5 to 6 months, worst case, for the construction duration. Or hopefully it's going to be more like 5 months. But that's kind of a worst case scenario. And then the construction cost for these two intersections is about $1 million, give or take. Okay, as I mentioned, this is we're at the end of the presentation here. I want to leave this up for a while, and I may even come back to it, but I'd like everybody to write down the contact information for our design engineer and for myself. Again, I'm Seth Cooksey. I'm the project manager for the mobility team, and I'll be managing this project. So please take down my contact information and feel free to contact me with any questions or concerns. And we will do our very best to get those answered. And if there's any technical folks out there, you can even contact our design engineer with some of the technical questions. Just make sure you copy me too. I'd like to know what's going on. I'll come back to this page, but I did want to remind everybody that there is an app that you can download. If you don't like calling or emailing me directly, or you feel like maybe I am not giving you the kind of service that you need, you can always download the app, and you can submit questions and concerns on the app. And there's other folks, my boss, specifically Chad Allen, who was up here earlier, would be looking at those kind of inquiries. So we have lots of ways to contact us. So I encourage everybody to do that, to stay in touch, and this project will go much more smoothly when we have that communication lines open. Go back, let's see here, and so we're ready for questions. And we have Laura here, who is our communications director, and she's handling some of those questions that may come through. Hopefully, I've answered most of the questions, and if you have questions, you just can't think of them right now, again, please reach out. We'll get those answered. She wanted me to mention, I don't know how we're going to do it, but we have a website for this project on the City of Fort Worth's website. We have our own web page, I should say, and we'll try to bring that up.
I'll put the link in the chat.
Okay, we're going to
Anyone
put
has
the link to
questions
that.
in the chat too.
We're going to put the link to that webpage for this project. That'll give you real-time updates as you go to that.
You can subscribe online.
And you
for
can
updates.
subscribe to that page online, we're being told. So that's great. So we're going to see
I'm
if
not
any.
gonna unmute them because then we were getting feedback. So I'm asking them to
Yeah.
I asked them if they have questions in the chat.
Yeah. As Laura mentioned, if you have questions, please put them in the chat. Because of audio reasons, we can't really take those live.
So far, none yet. Mike, do you have any questions? Okay,
Not now.
I think we talked about it before, there's a lot of infrastructure over there that control like bed poles, tree lights. I think in some cases under that, safe to assume that that'll stay that way. If there's power running into those poles, we're gonna do the work going forward. I am stepped down. I know in the Snakes area, it is. Might not affect this phase one. As we go phase two, a lot of infrastructure.
Hopefully, everybody is hearing the questions internally to the room. If not, let us know. We can.
Should now come from building or poles, Your
tree lights
follows you.
Speaking about tree lights, if we have to do any trimming, we get with you on the tree lights. Is that correct? Okay.
Let's make sure for his blocks, and I'm gonna send you an email to King Kraus who asked me to make the connection for Sundance and anything else for the electric stuff. And we've got, so he's got a contract, but we've also got contracts. Kind of leading up to phase, we're about to trim 140 trees throughout downtown on Main Eastern Broadway. We're trimming in 30, so hopefully you don't have to do much.
So that's PSC.
Okay, yeah, And we're working with Craig Fox and Steve Forrester, and we'll have our others on site watching and do stuff.
Right, anytime we fool around with trees or working around trees, we like to get our city forester involved and make sure that they are happy. We do love trees. Or is there any questions that have come in?
Not at the moment. For
Wow.
those in the room, there's this QR code on the table, and then out front, if you haven't signed in, you're welcome to sign in, but that you can also do the QR code and then sign up for updates on the project.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but a link to this presentation will be put to the website.
Yes.
So if you can't sleep tonight and you want to watch it again, please feel free to do that. And then you might think of some other questions. But the most important thing is to get down my contact information and send me that email, give me a call. And when the project starts here in a couple months, be ready to be out there and, you can actually probably meet me out there and we can take you around and show you what's going on. So we're gonna sit on, we're gonna stay on for another 10 minutes or so, waiting for those questions if they come through. So if you think of anything, let us know. If otherwise, we are going to kind of break and possibly discuss more of the project internally here. But again, if you have questions, please let us know. So I want to thank everybody for coming today. I want to really, City Center has been quite nice to us to let us to use this nice facility. Want to thank them. And again, thank you all for being here. We'll stay on for about 10 minutes. Thank you. Oh,
So far, no questions.
okay. No
I'm gonna go
problem.
ahead and hit.
I did a good job then. That's what I'll say.
All right.